Good afternoon, everyone. You know, the lights are pretty bright. I can't see in the back. If you want to come up, I'll be great. But if not, that's fine too. But thank you for coming for this session. Thank you for coming to Nashville. We really appreciate you being our customers. It gets to keep on going for us every day. So today, I'm going to talk to you about what's new in policy, billing, and underwriting. Just a little bit about, we're going to talk about some of the future stuff, so standard safe harbor statement. I am Gary Ball. I lead the product management team for PolicyCenter, BillingCenter, and Underwriting here at Guidewire. With me, I have my colleague. I'll let him introduce.
Hi, I'm Scott Medberry, product manager for PolicyCenter. Welcome to Connections, everybody. Glad to see you all here. I'm going to be talking a little bit later about user experience and digital transformation. But glad to see you all here today.
All right. So just a quick view on what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to start with some of the key market trends we are observing in the market, some of the business needs we are hearing from you and the market, how in Guidewire we are trying to address those, and then finally I will summarize what we talked about today. So let's get into our first topic. So what are the key trends we are observing in the market? So there are micro and macro trends happening in the market which are impacting the policy value chain from both service and sales perspective. There are new distribution channels emerging, existing one getting more demanding with the socioeconomic changes, inflation, wars. New risks are emerging, new mitigation strategies are emerging, which way puts the pressure on the underwriters. Now they have to come up with the new risk analysis and assessment strategies to overcome these challenges, right? So, and there is a lot of innovation happening around the core systems in the insurtech world. So insurers need the open core system so they can leverage all this innovation happening on the edges. So what does this mean in terms of key trends when we see a little bit deeper? So when we see the policy value chain, it's a segment of market. So when we look at a personal line segment, there is about 70% of the customers who expect a multi-channel experience when it comes to policy research or purchase. When you look at a small commercial, there's a lot of opportunity to grow. 43% of the customers which are under 100 employees are still uninsured. And when it comes to complex commercial, this is the growth area of the segment of the market which customers see, especially around excess and surplus lines, which is touching about $100 billion in DWP into year 2022. And then these ENS lines grew about 19% with the combined ratios of 91%, whereas the industry P&C combined ratios were 103%. So there is a lot of growth which is happening, and insurers need out-of-the-box solutions to help them address those. So when we look deeper into our customer challenges in each of these segments, there are two different business imperatives which come to front. In personal line segment, it's a price-sensitive market which is commoditized. Loyalty of the customers is at the lowest level. If you do not give a good experience to your customers, they will change the insurance provider at a flip of a button. Distribution channels is a challenge. You need to sell where the customers are, so reach is very important. But when we look at the commercial lines customers, the imperatives are very different. They're asking for consistency, so they want to make sure the two underwriters, when they're underwriting a risk, they are assessing the risk and pricing the risk at the same lens. They want to make the system efficient. So 40% of the underwriters still spend time doing administrative tasks. So automation or a controlled automation is something our customers need. Finally, underwriters are the new sales reps. So you want to make sure that they're given the tools that they can collaborate with not only underwriting teams, but also with the sales channels or the broker channels. So what, from a Guidewire perspective, are we doing to address these business imperatives, right? So we have focused our investment into three main areas. I'm going to go into details of each one of them. So first one is around product agility, right? So we are building tools and technologies that will help you build products or help you build rates, update rates with more agility. we are trying to give you tools and technologies, not only launch and modify these rates, but also monitor these rates so that you can now make and adjust changes. So the second category is around price and risk optimization. This is where we are trying to make our underwriting or your underwriting staff more efficient by giving them tools and technologies for automated ingestion of the submissions, giving them tools to underwrite or risk analysis in an underwriting workbench perspective, giving you out-of-the-box functionality in our policy solutions to be able to address the large global risks market or bureau content or London markets. Then finally, in the digital transformation side, we are trying to make our systems, core systems, completely open so that you can collaborate with other systems and make our policy systems or billing systems or underwriting system totally headless. And we are investing in tools and technologies in digital transformation, which will help you build persona-based experiences very quickly and efficiently. So this is at a high level what we are trying to put our focus and emphasis to make you successful. And we want to build a platform that will accelerate your agility and accelerate your growth profitability. All right, so let's go deep into what are we investing in product agility perspective. So the first service that we externalized from PolicyCenter was a product modeling tool, Advanced Product Designer. This is what product managers use to build new products, launch new products. It's a low-code, no-code tool that we released last year that helps product managers to release these products more efficiently in an agile fashion. So this was the first service. So next up, we started building, we have a rating engine, which is there for since 15 years, and we want to reinvent this rating engine in the new tech stack that we have built in the Guidewire Cloud Platform. Before I take you into that rating engine, I want to kind of give you a process overview of what is this rate-making process, because we are looking at this holistically now. I don't know how many of you noticed this in the morning. So we talked about in the morning session with Diego's and Kami's keynote, where the first step is around data preparation. So you have data collections. You need to collect the data that data scientists and actuaries build models on top of it. And once you have those models, you want to run your scenario testing, you run your dislocation testing, and then you file your rates. Once you're ready to push those rates to production, then you have your rate implementation module. This is going to be my focus of the talk in a little bit. And then once you have those rating in the production engine, then you can monitor those, and then the whole cycle starts again if your KPIs are not meeting what actuaries set it for you. So I'm really excited to say that we have in Guidewire going to give you the whole experience of rate-making process on a single platform. So starting with the glue of our product modeling tool, APD, and then next one using it in the rate development process in predict and tune for rate testing process. So this once you have actuaries build those rates, then you publish those rates into a rate execution engine, which is we're calling rating app. It's all on single platform. So taking you one step deeper into what is this rate execution engine rate app, I'm excited to say that this is available for early adopter customers. This is a stateless microservice that we have built outside of PolicyCenter, which will support the rate execution and maintenance needs for our customers. So we have built the system in a way that you can create, update rate changes without bringing your core system down. So fundamentally give you an agility to address any changing market needs for changing the rates. We have completely re-architected the developer experience of how you build these rates. So it is going to fundamentally bring your total cost of ownership down for the rate implementation projects. And also, since we have integrated with the product modeling tool out of the box, and we're going to integrate ourselves into the pricing tools as well. It's not there yet, but we're going to do that. It's going to be fundamentally a seamless process, where integration is the biggest cost when it comes to rating engine, because you have multiple different systems talking. And finally, we recognize we want to build a single rating engine for your enterprise need. We want to enhance our rating engine that it can rate policies outside of PolicyCenter. If you have another legacy past systems, we want you to use the same rating engine. So we are not there yet, but we have laid the foundation. In next few releases, this is where we want to go. So some of the key features of this rating engine is around performance. We have built this ground up so that this rating engine can scale horizontally and vertically, both for high volume or high complexity quotes. And then we have built this system very modular, where we have each of the rating components now versioned separately. They are combined at the runtime for the rate execution mode. So no longer you have a monolith here, but it's just modular, so that all the so you have the rating developers who can work on the rate order parallel by locking and unlocking each of the rating individual components, not the complete rate order or rate book. Finally, we are building this rating engine very open. So it is API first. So whatever you can do from UI, you can do from APIs. You can create rates, publish rates, execute rates via API. And this is an interface our actuarial tools, Predict Tune, is going to use, so that they can now publish the rates. Once the actuaries build the rates in this actuarial tool, they can publish directly into the rating engine. So we're going to make the deployment very easy. So I want to see a quick show of hands. How many of you have more than one rating engine in your enterprise? That's nice, about 1/4. All right, good to know. Thank you so much. So if you want to know more about our rating engine, there is a session tomorrow, Wednesday morning, 9:15. So don't miss that. We're going to demo the rating engine. So the second service we are trying to externalize is around underwriting rules. It is again also available as an early adopter solution. So this is a service which is based on our cloud rule service. This is one of those microservices you might have noticed in the keynote today. So this is where the business analyst could use a low-code, no-code tool to define underwriting rules or execute underwriting rules, so that you do not have to now bounce the core to write these underwriting rules. So you can write it in simple rules, or you can also write high complexity rules, since it supports scripting languages as well. So this is also available early release. So policy analytics, this is sort of available today. So this is where we enable the underwriters or underwriting staff to get embedded in analytics while they're going through the submission process. The data coming in from Hazard Hub, Science, bring your own model, predict, so that they can take some real-time decisions to make profitable decisions and increase the underwriting profit, right? So you can automate some of the rate, ref, or reject rules based on the numbers you get from these models. So this will eventually help you reduce your loss ratios and increase your bind rate on profitable submissions. Explore for Policy is our business intelligence tool based on top of ThoughtSpot. It is a new modern UI which is coming with the content out of the box for some of the key KPIs for submission operational dashboards. You can kind of use those out of the box. You can enhance those. It does come up with some of the Gen AI capabilities where you can ask human-like questions to get responses. So this is again available today. If you want to use it, you can. So the next up is around price and risk optimization. So what are we doing in here? So submission intake is a service that we released last year. This is a submission ingestion tool that ingests accord forms, which is standard commercial business in US, and it reads that and ingests that into PolicyCenter. It's a microservice built out of PolicyCenter, but it's completely integrated into PolicyCenter. It can read about 40+ accord forms. It's there. But what we are doing now is you can now read loss runs from various different carriers using this service. What we are working on in next release is in Jasper is you should be able to read the schedules of fleet or property. So that is something we are building on. And long term, what we want to do is we want to build this service to read non-accord forms as well. So another question for you, a show of hands, how many of you get submissions which are not in accord format? Great, thank you. If you would like to collaborate with us on this, I would encourage you to talk to me, talk to your CSM, but we would like to hear more because we want to kind of build this service that can read non-accord forms as well. All right, so we are committed to, committed to our customers in the commercial line space. We see this as a growth area. We have pre-built some of the functionality which is out there today that will help you underwrite the risks which are there, which are large enough that you don't want to take it yourself, so you can segment these risks. So we are going to allow you to write contracts for these risks in a coinsurance module, where you can segment this risk and you can build towers, you can build layers, so you can run it in any different format. You can be leader, follower. So we're gonna support many different forms of contract building for coinsurance that you can write these risks. Not only write this risk, but then service these risks with BillingCenter and ClaimCenter. With Innsbruck, we have released this coinsurance module for BillingCenter with Jasper. We're gonna release this with PolicyCenter. A release or two later, we're gonna release this with ClaimCenter. So we're gonna give you an end-to-end solution that will work across these three X centers to help you write these coinsurance contracts and execute and service them. We have released the functionality that you can write multinational policies, so you can write the policies at a product level or a coverage level in different currencies, settle in singular or multiple currencies, so you can kind of operate in multi-currency mode if you choose to do that. We are going to make it easy for the brokers. We understand this in large commercial segment, this is a bespoke when it comes to broker commissions, so we're going to build processes that you can kind of manually override the commissions as you need. So coming to Underwriting Workbench, I know that we had a pretty good customer influence console just before the session. We are building this Underwriting Workbench product, which is our next version of underwriting management, which was the Underwriting Workbench we have. So this Underwriting Workbench is built on the latest cloud technologies of Guidewire Cloud Platform. The four major modules of this product is around automation. So we want to build automation at pre-bind and post-bind level. Risk assessment is going to be the key functionality where we want to allow the underwriters to be able to assess the risks at account level, submission level, make sure they have the data they need in a single pane of glass so they can make the right decisions to increase the underwriting profit. So workflow is one of the services that you might have seen in the morning. We're going to use that workflow platform service to build some of the template workflows for clearance, for account submissions. This will also allow you to customize if you want to customize Underwriting Workbench workflows on your own. Finally, integration and document management is going to be the key when it comes to Underwriting Workbench. So one thing I should mention, this Underwriting Workbench that we are building is going to focus on pre-bind, on the manually underwritten business for mid to large to specialty segment of the market. In the first version, we are focusing on the middle market so that we can improve the efficiency of your underwriters. A quick show of hands, I want another question. How many of you believe Underwriting Workbench needs to sit outside of policy administration system? All right, I like that. Okay, thank you. So finally, reinsurance management is ceded reinsurance management is our solution which is available today, and we are enhancing this reinsurance module so that we can complete some of the things which are missing in the reinsurance model. So we support certain kinds of programs, treaties that you can define in the reinsurance module. So we plan to enhance this module so that you can support all kinds of programs, agreements, and treaties in this reinsurance, which is focusing on ceded side of the market, not the assumed, just the ceded. So we want to increase enhance our calculation engine so that you can do. So today we can do proportional calculations, but we want to be able to support non-proportional calculations as well. Build a configurable inuring logic. Put in risk accumulation and claims aggregation functionality in this as well. So if you are interested to talk about enhancing reinsurance, if you are using this, I would love to talk to you about what is that we can help you with in the reinsurance or ceded reinsurance space. Before I hand it over to Scott, I just want to mention one thing from a previous slide. I'm going to come back and show you a demo of Underwriting Workbench. This is a UX prototype we have built, so I want you to kind of give you a preview of what we have built. So with that, Scott.
Thank you, Gary. So we're switching gears just a little bit. We're going to talk about user experience and digital transformation and how Guidewire is working to assist you in these areas. And the first one I want to talk about is going to tie together some of the things Gary talked about and put it in the theme of user experience, okay? So we're talking about the quote service and the quoting process. I'm going to talk about how it works today and how we look at it working in the future. Today, quoting is a two-part process. There's the design of it, where you create the rates and rules that you use during the quoting process, right? You configure the rules to execute the way you want, the rate routines to do what you want, et cetera. All inside of PolicyCenter. Rating is rate table management. Rules are a series of things, including the biz rules framework, all inside of PolicyCenter, okay? Then at runtime, when the policy is ready, you hit the quote button. And in quoting, you serially go through each of the rules, each of the rate routines, et cetera, getting the results, displaying it to the user. Works well, right? Why change anything? Well, let me talk through why we're doing what we're doing. We're going to provide an option for you. We're not taking away what you can do currently, but we'll provide an option for you to quote externally, leveraging cloud-native technologies to improve your user experience. So, in the new world, you're going to be able to create your rate routines outside of PolicyCenter. Create your rules outside of PolicyCenter. Execute them at runtime when you punch the quote button outside of PolicyCenter. So you use the rating app, you use the underwriting rules app, you use APD to create rules, and you have a series of execution engines outside that understand those rules. And at execution time, you have a rating service, an APD rule service, which runs the product model properties. We have an underwriting rule service and a validation rule service, okay? So now you hit the quote button inside of PolicyCenter. We send a copy of that policy external to an orchestration layer. We parse that out to the various rule and rate services. They each execute in parallel, send the results back. We combine that in PolicyCenter, and we seamlessly integrate it so that the rule results appear just like they did before. If it's an error or warning, it appears just like it did before. Rates get up in the costs. They go into the premiums just like before. To the end user, they can't tell the difference between this, but you've executed externally. Part of this is we're separating, as I indicated, design time and execution time, right? We're separating those two steps, providing them separately to give additional flexibility. So this is what we're talking about doing. Why would you be interested in it? What are the benefits to the users, right? Well, one is performance. Particularly for large commercial policies, we think being able to execute externally. We can throw lots of cloud-native technology at that. The microservices we can spin up, we can spool it out, we can thread it out across multiple services, multiple nodes of the service, and perform faster, giving a faster response, a better user experience. Because, as Gary mentioned, because we've externalized these processes, you don't have to bring policy down when you want to improve your rates and rules. You're updating your product to take advantage of a market opportunity or to respond to the environment, et cetera. You can change them. At the same time, PolicyCenter is turning out policies, endorsements, summaries, whatever you need. You can set the rules and rates to trigger as of, say, 12:01 a.m. PolicyCenter is working away there, and at 12:01, instead of using the old rates and rules, it starts using the new rates and rules. And you seamlessly go on. There is no downtime. The availability of the system is up for this particular set of changes. It's also presumed to be a lot more scalable, right? We're using the cloud-native technologies to scale vertically on large policies, right? We can put more resources on it. We can also scale horizontally. If your demand goes from 0 quotes per second to 60 quotes per second and back again, we can dynamically scale much faster with a microservice-based technology than we can by spinning up new app server nodes in PolicyCenter. So it gives you better capability to immediately respond as the load comes into your system, 8 a.m. Monday morning or whenever that load occurs. All of this is good. We also have a lot of ideas on what we're going to do now that we've externalized it. It unlocks for us a lot of capabilities that we would like to be able to do inside, but we just get blocked because of a variety of technological reasons. Now that we've unblocked ourselves on external quoting, We are going to introduce over the next year or so additional capabilities. Come to Connections 2024, my pitch for that. Come to that, we'll have more to talk about at that point about those future capabilities we're working to unlock. So, if you heard the main stage talk this morning, they mentioned Juto Digital Platform. And we've been mentioning Juto Digital Platform for the last couple of Connections. But the big news is it's now generally available. And that's important for policy and billing because the Juto Digital Platform is all about creating experiences for end users. User experience, right? Experiences. And in policy and billing, there's lots of experiences we need to have for a variety of reasons. For one, we have a lot of user personas that we need to deal with in policy and billing. We have many times the insured, an internal or external agent, a customer service representative, an underwriter, a billing analyst, and the list goes on. Each of those experiences needs somewhat different workflows, somewhat different slices of the data, et cetera. Because the Juto Digital Platform is built from the ground up for the P&C industry and for policy and billing, it is easy to make those experiences, create new ones over time. Also, because of PolicyCenter, a lot of times in lines of business, right, you have multiple lines of business. Each line of business operates similarly to a certain level, right, at a gross level, but there's intricacies in each line of business where you need to provide different experiences, right? Workers' comp is different from personal auto. There's some different experiences you need to provide for them. And again, the Juto Digital Platform helps you roll out new experiences more quickly, more rapidly, et cetera. In addition, like what we talked about in the quoting service, it is an ability that you have that you can sort of pick and choose where you want to use it, and you can reuse it. You can take an experience you've created inside of one Juto Digital app and port it over to other places, which we call the embedded micro experience. So you can take an experience you've got, maybe a policy summary or something more complex than that, and something you like and you built out, and you can say, I'm going to take it from one Juto digital experience to another one, to a third one. Oh, you've got an Engage app, you can plug it into there too. Oh, you've got a embedded insurance application that doesn't have other Juto components in there, you can do that as well. So it allows you to reuse the experiences you build and like across multiple different venues, applications, et cetera. Reuse of the code is important. So I've been talking about true user experience, but we also focus a little bit on system-to-system experience as well, meaning policy and billing don't sit in a vacuum in your ecosystem, right? There's a lot of other systems there that you need to deal with that want to interact with policy and billing, and we're working to make that a better experience as well. In PolicyCenter, we've been working on the APIs for a couple years. We're pretty far along on our journey on that, actually. We're about 80% of the way done, we think, right now. We've got a few fine-grained APIs and a few coarse-grained business APIs we want to get done, but most of the fine-grained, important APIs we've already got in place. We've got a pretty good story there right now. Contrast that with billing. Billing, our journey is nicely started, but we're not as far along as we are in policy. We are about 20% of the way done in billing. We've got the foundational work done. We've got a few APIs, a few core APIs in the bind and issuance, policy level billing, direct bill payments, and recurring payments. So we've got a nice starting point on that. But we've got a large surface area we want to cover, right? We want to have charges, transactions, delinquencies, admin, invoicing, payments, disbursements, et cetera, commissions. All are important. And if, again, you come back to next Connections, we'll have a much better story to tell you, much further along on our journey there with you. Along with APIs, hand in hand comes app events, because the data structures that we use in APIs are the same data structures we use for events. Now, APIs are a one-to-one communication between systems. App events are messaging, right? And a messaging, it's a one-to-many type of interaction where BillingCenter would send out, hey, I've got a new invoice, or hey, I've got a new payment. And systems that care about that can subscribe to those particular messages and say, I hear a new invoice has come in, and act accordingly. Or a new payment has come in, I need to do this. It provides the power of broadcast, one-to-many. It also provides the capability or the ability, the advantage, of taking your implementation outside of billing. So you don't have to change, bounce billing. You don't have to start and stop billing to change your implementation because these listening events occur outside of billing. They occur maybe in integration gateway, maybe in your third-party system, et cetera, so that you can keep your operational tempo alive with the billing center. With that, Gary, back to you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Scott. That was great, digital transformation. A couple more things before I show you the demo of Underwriting Workbench. So if you want to see the demo of our global commercial functionality that I mentioned, there is a session tomorrow afternoon. Do not miss that. If you want to talk to us on any of these topics, tomorrow we actually have all the PMs in a CAG in the afternoon. So feel free to come to our CAG, Customer Advisory Group, where you will have one-to-one time with product managers from our team and others covering these topics. You can have a chat with them if you have any questions. Not that you can ask now, but you can ask now. But if you want to have more longer conversation, feel free to come tomorrow. So before I get you into this demo, so this is a prototype we have built on our Underwriting Workbench. So this is still in the oven. So we are planning to get this ready by second half of next year. So I'm going to step into an underwriter's persona, underwriter the Bob. So Susan, who is an underwriting assistant, she has assigned me some tasks that I need to come in and address. So I cannot unfortunately stop this or pause this video. So I'm going to try to match it. So here you go. So I come into office in the morning. So this is my dashboard. I see some of the key metrics on the top, my pinned item. And then my tasks, what I'm working on, what are my key submissions that are in my queue, submissions, renewals, audits, any of the endorsements. So I see there is a notification on the top for me. So what is this notification? So I open it up. I see Susan has assigned me a task to look at a submission from GTK. I want to go and check it out and see she has done some tasks already on this submission. So I'm going to go back to my submissions and filter on the submission tab. So once I see this submissions, I go in there and I will say my Groove Tech Kitchen, so GTK. So I'm going to pin this Groove Tech Kitchen to my pin bar. So pinning is like your sticky notepad. So this is a bar of sticky notepad. You can pin anything. You can pin submissions. You can pin your notes, whatever you want to keep track of. So I pinned this Groove Tech submission. So I'm going to go into this submission and I'm going to look at it. So I'm a commercial lines underwriter. So I'm interested in commercial property. So I see there's a Groove Tech Kitchen. I see Susan, and I see some of the underwriting team assigned to it. Susan has performed some of OFAC check. She's done reserve to the market. She's done some clearance check. Now I go into an account view of this underwriter, of this Groove Tech. I see they have two policies, very profitable customer. One of them is an issued policy. This is second submission, and some of the tasks and activities that happened over the years for Groove Tech. So I have sort of an account view of Groove Tech Kitchens. Now I will go into a submission that I need to work on, and I'm a commercial property underwriter, so I need to go there. So I go into my submission. So I see there are two lines. It's a multi-line submission, general liability and commercial property. So I'm going to go into commercial property version of it. So there's a submission progress. I see there's a progress bar. So I can click on submission in here, and then I see there are multiple buildings in this submission. I want to kind of do some risk analysis on each of these buildings. So I'm going to go to my risk analysis tab and run Hazard Hub reports for each of these buildings. So I go in there, I select my addresses, and then order Hazard Hub reports. So I'm speaking faster than the video recording. I was fearing about the other way around, but anyways. So I ordered these reports. So this is, I'm going to see one report from one address, and I want to see some of the notes. What did I observe? So I observed there's key. It's the flood risk zone, and it has other attributes. And I want to make notes of what I observed in this response from Hazard Hub. So the way, it is pretty easy way to do it. So I can write my underwriting notes. I go to the right side, bring my notes, and I can put those in context of what I was looking at. So I can make those underwriting summaries in here. So this to you is a preview of what we are building an underwriting workbench for the middle market for an underwritten business. So if you are interested to collaborate, want to interested more, please reach out. Please come to our CAG session tomorrow. We have PMs there to talk to you about that. And finally, I want to recap what we learned today. What are the key investment areas for us? We are investing to make your systems agile with our new rating application, externalizing underwriting rules. So we are also spending a lot of time productizing the SurePath content. SurePath, if you know, was accelerators that we built to support our customers, and then we are now productizing this so that you get production level support for these very key functionality that our team has built. From a price and risk optimization perspective, we are investing a lot in building submission ingestion, submission intake, and schedule ingestion, loss runs ingestion. We want to do non-accord forms as well, underwriting workbench, co-insurance, reinsurance, multinational, support your multinational business. From a digital transformation perspective, we're externalizing our code engine, Jutro digital platform, APIs, and app events. With that, I really want to thank you to come to this session. I want to thank you to be our customers. It gets up going, and I'm open to questions now.
When is the underwriting workbench currently scheduled to be released? And would it require a separate licensing if you are an insurance suite customer?
Okay, let me make sure I repeat. So when is the underwriting workbench getting released, and it's going to be a price or not? So, so our first early adopter release is targeted somewhere around second half of next year. We are working with customers who want to be development partners to it to influence the roadmap. Will it be a separate license item? It's a little too early to say that, but it would be a separate. What it looks like, I don't have as much details because we are still far away from the delivery of this product.
I had one follow-up question connected to that. So right now, the business users are using the desktop view in PolicyCenter, but it has its limitations, right? What they are looking actually is for this underwriting workbench that you showed us. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you are going to do in the interim to enhance the desktop behavior other than the out of the box, which is kind of not that good, right?
So yeah, maybe we can have deeper chat on it. What is that limiting you? Because you can kind of you can enhance the PCFs to the way your underwriters want to kind of view those things. Are those things missing? Are you able to not modify it? I would probably like to know more details around it.
They are wanting certain things which is lacking. Yeah, we can configure and customize, but we're just asking from an overall perspective whether Guidewire is planning to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, there are some fundamental limitations, right? You cannot do account level submissions. There's no concept of submission packet, so every submission is equal to policy. But we have customers who's using, underwriters are the major users of PolicyCenter. They have found a way to kind of configure it in how their underwriters want. But I think if we can chat, I think I can help you if we can guide you a little bit more details on this. Sorry,
hi. So
this thing is
currently.
Yeah.
Hi. How easy would it be to move our current rating algorithms from PolicyCenter into this new external rating tool, and similarly for like all of our underwriting edits and everything? Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. So from a migration perspective for rating, it's sort of mix and match because there are things we can migrate easily. If you have, and it also depends how complex is your current rating algorithm, how much scripting and GoSu you have written. So for some of the things like rate tables, rate routines, we can easily migrate. And we haven't looked into the migration of the GoSu code, GoSu engine. Something it is in our plans. We don't know for sure if we will be able to because it's scripting, right? It's very hard. So we at least would be able to migrate some of these rate tables and rate routines. But from a GoSu perspective, we'll have to kind of see how much we can achieve. So so it might be today, as it stands, it might be writing the GoSu engine, but because the constructs are very different. Like now the new rating engine, we could have incrementally enhanced it, but then you would have not gotten the benefits of cloud scale. So we had no option but to reinvent this rating engine with the new architecture, so we can kind of give you scale, and so that you can kind of now build agility in the system that will help you differentiate with your competition. But we can have more conversations around it, because we would like to see how you have configured your rating engine and what would it need.
Yeah, another follow-up on the rating engine. What's the roadmap for SPTs in the new rating engine?
Yeah, so so SPTs is in plan, so we are trying to modernize the SPTs. I don't know if there is a session around SPTs. James McCulley is a PM, so if not, so we're going to be there in the CAG tomorrow, so feel free to come in. But we are modernizing the SPTs based on product modeling tool APD. So, and then followed by moving the SPTs onto cloud rating. So this is a journey, because SPT is very complex. So we have started the journey on this. I think we have migrated the APD. For the BOP line, we are now going to start working on the rating logic. But we are about a year or two away before we can kind of have a modernization of SPTs and SPT with cloud rating. Yes.
Today, if there is a value other than the cost, the final cost object, that's determined within the rating engine or the routines, you have to specifically persist that value. And there can be impacts if you want to persist very much. Does this new approach help address that if pricing teams want some value that's determined inside of there a little bit easier than today?
Yeah, so I think I would encourage you to go to Wednesday morning session, but there are key aspects in this new rating engine, something we call global variables, that you can kind of set these variables that can be shared inside and outside of rate routines. We're also coming up with rate variables that can allow you to do this functionality as well. I would highly encourage you to come to session on Wednesday morning. We're going to demo this to you.
The other thing, just to follow up on that, you're interested in persisting it long term for analysts to look at and see how things are rated? Is that just nod? That's one reason. Okay. The other thing is we're reimagining how rating worksheets work, and that will be a way to persist some of this information and be able to analyze it later. So go, as Gary mentioned, go to the meeting on Wednesday, because they can go in more detail about it, but that'll also be an avenue for that.
I did have a few questions, switching gears to the BillingCenter slides that you showed. Mm-hmm. One of them was the pie chart where you were showing the API scope and current coverage. I just wanted to clarify on that. Was everything on that slide what you're working on? I guess I wasn't too clear on what's
that represents the 100%, okay? And the stuff that was in green, that was my cue as to what was already done. So about 20% of what you saw on that slide is done.
Okay, green was done, got it. And then on the app events for BillingCenter, probably a dumb question, but I guess are you restricted to specific app events, or is it kind of whatever you deem is an app event? I guess.
Whatever we've enabled, it's by go ahead. We've got the expert over here.
There is we have a roadmap on the app events. So we're going to start with a couple of you there? Oh yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Hi, my name is Kayuri Anand. I'm the BillingCenter product manager. App events are very heavily dependent on the underlying API coverage for us to be able to build the app events on top. So by that definition, there is a bit of a restriction. We can only build app event use cases once the underlying APIs are, REST APIs are available. One use case that we have now available with Innsbruck is going to be the recurring payment app events, and then document production. Various different use cases around document production are going to be next in line. Once we have the underlying APIs all available, we'll be able to build those use cases out.
Any other questions?
All right.
Perfect. We're right at time.
Yeah, we're just right at time. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your support.
Yes, thank you.